sources and effects. So just as we did in the last time, for the greenhouse gases also, I had a table like this. What are the sources and what are the effects? So air pollutant also, I thought we'll do the same. So first pollutant, the known culprit, carbon dioxide, burning of fossil fuels, whether the fossil fuel burns in your vehicle or whether it burns in thermal power plant, the effect is the same. It produces carbon dioxide. Now, if someone had listened to my class yesterday, carbon dioxide is produced as a result of sufficient oxygen or insufficient oxygen. Someone can quickly answer so that I can move next. Carbon dioxide is produced as a result of S or I, you can just write sufficient or insufficient combustion. S, good. It is sufficient, good guys, sufficient. Why it is not inefficient is, insufficient is, if it was insufficient, each carbon will get only one oxygen. So instead of CO2, it becomes CO. That is why carbon monoxide is produced under insufficient combustion condition, which is our next pollutant. Okay. So now what are the effects? We have discussed carbon dioxide threadbare. So we will not go into carbon dioxide. What are the effects? Greenhouse effect, global warming, everything. So carbon dioxide is a star pollutant, so to say, because no other pollutant gets the attention that carbon dioxide gets. And it gets from leaders across the countries, be it India, China, US, European Union. So by the way, China did not attend this year's Glasgow summit. I think we want to just remember it. I don't know whether it is good or bad, but if I look at it from a selfish point of view, as an Indian, I say that this is a absence of China gives India the space to take leadership position. Just remember it. If someone is thinking about international relations or PSAR, this actually works to some extent in our favor because China was not there. India can take a leadership position for the developed countries and for South Asia. Just remember this as a point, though it is not related to environment per se. Okay. Then comes carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide, if S is for carbon dioxide, I is for carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, what is the once again, where is it produced? Usually from automobile exhaust and because of insufficient combustion. Okay. Now, has anyone smelled carbon monoxide? Can someone tell me how did you feel when you inhale carbon monoxide? Was it pungent? Was it sweet smelling? Any idea? No one has smelled carbon monoxide? Okay, good. Yes, Prachi, you're right. So carbon monoxide does not have a smell. And that's the problem. That's what makes carbon monoxide more dangerous. Has anyone smelled ammonia? Anyone of you have you smelled ammonia in a chemistry lab? Pungent, yeah. So someone has smelled it. Ammonia is very strong. Once you smell it, no, the smell will go not just to your nose, it will go all the way up to your brain. Okay, so there are two gases which I'll never forget in my high school days. One is ammonia, other is a gas called hydrogen sulfide. Have you heard of this gas? H2S. This is the name, hydrogen sulfide. And rotten egg, that's correct. So that's how it's been taught in school also. It has the smell of a rotten egg. Okay, so even from that day onwards, I started disliking eggs to some extent, I would say, because that's a smell that you'll never forget. Especially when you had inhaled it deeply. So ammonia and hydrogen sulfide, they are harmful, but you know that you are in a place where you're inhaling something wrong. But what if carbon monoxide? You even don't know that you're inhaling. Are you able to understand? So carbon monoxide is like a, what should I say? It's like a sweet poison, so to say. You're just bindas, you're sitting and you're inhaling and you don't have a clue. The problem is carbon monoxide does something to something in the blood. Sorry, maybe not a right grammatical sentence. Let me put it this way. Which component of the blood does carbon monoxide attack? Which component of the blood? Very good. Hemoglobin. It attacks hemoglobin. Now, what does hemoglobin do? Hemoglobin is a carrier of oxygen. Do you agree? If you have ever done your blood test, there is a range of hemoglobin. I think for male it is from 9 to 14 or something. So if it is less than 9, they say, hey boss, you're slightly anemic. You eat this, you eat the green leafy vegetables, eat dates, this, that, they'll give you a lot of suggestions. Why? Because, and people who are anemic, Do you know what is the most common symptom of people who are anemic? Any idea? I have been once in my life during my earlier 20s. In fact, when I was preparing for civil services as anemic, pale eyes, okay. Pale eyes, that's correct, because there is no blood. You know, when they do like this in the doctor and when he looks at it, this excellent. You get tired very fast and you feel very weak. Now, why do you feel very weak? Is the body does not have enough oxygen. Because hemoglobin is less, hemoglobin is carrying the oxygen. The hemoglobin itself is less, you are inhaling, but the oxygen is not being carried to all the parts, most important being brain. Okay, I don't know whether you are aware, 25% of the energy that we produce and 25% of the oxygen that we use goes directly to the brain. Okay, so that's why this is very dangerous. Carbon monoxide, you know what it does? Instead of oxygen, I don't want to go into too much detail. Instead of oxygen, the carbon monoxide latches onto hemoglobin. Are you able to understand? So there is only one hemoglobin. You have inhaled. So you have inhaled both oxygen and you are in an environment where there is carbon monoxide. So you have inhaled. And both the oxygen and carbon monoxide through the lungs, they have entered the bloodstream. Now, once they have entered the bloodstream, the carbon monoxide pushes the oxygen and say, no, you get lost. I am going to latch on to carbon, to hemoglobin. And with hemoglobin, it forms a perfect pair, perfect jodi. And they move. Now, instead of oxygen, if the carbon monoxide is moving, what will happen? The brain is the first part to get impacted. And that is why this effect, slowing of plexus, means what? Nervous system. The moment brain is attacked, there is a slowing of plexus. So that's why carbon monoxide is a very dangerous pollutant, because you don't know that you are in trouble. That's much worse than knowing that you are in trouble, right? At least you try to get out of it. Okay, so that's on carbon monoxide. Then comes the sulfur oxide, oxides of sulfur. So they are generally called as SOx, SOX, where X can be 1, 2, 3. So you have sulfur monoxide, dioxide, trioxide. But of this, the most important is sulfur dioxide, SO2. Now, SO2 is emitted from power plants, refineries, and as I said, volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruption is a natural source of sulfur sulfur oxide emissions. Okay, power plants they are, refineries also they are. Now, what is common between power plant and refineries? What is common between them is the input both is a fossil fuel. Do you agree? For power plant, the input is a coal. For refineries, the input is a crude oil. So both are coming from underneath the earth. And the earth's composition, if you have studied in geography, one of the components is sulfur. So there will be some parts of the earth from which you extract coal, they'll have more sulfur. Some part of the earth where you extract crude oil, there will be more sulfur. And when you burn them, they produce the sulfur dioxide emission. Okay, so that's on the sulfur dioxide. Now, what are all the harmful effects of sulfur dioxide? The harmful effects of sulfur dioxide is one, when you inhale sulfur dioxide, you will feel it causes irritation in the throat and in the nose, etc. And it is most commonly associated with respiratory problems in humans. In plants, it has a very interesting impact on the plant. It attacks the formation of chlorophyll or loss of chlorophyll, a disease called as chlorosis. Chlorosis. Now, what is the big deal for a plant if it loses chlorosis? If it loses chlorophyll? Can someone tell me what will happen to the plant when the chlorophyll is lost? Any idea? No photosynthesis. Very good. Because why no photosynthesis? Because for photosynthesis to happen, you need three things. You need carbon dioxide, you need sunlight, and you need chlorophyll. So even if one is not there, then the photosynthesis doesn't happen. Now, when photosynthesis doesn't happen, what does it eventually mean? It means there will be either a stunted growth. So what does this mean? This would mean there will be a stunted. You understand the meaning of stunted? Stunted growth means they are not growing. They are just remaining at the same height. Or worse still, they will die. Over a period of time, if the sulfur dioxide pollution is quite heavy, they will eventually die. Okay. Then comes nitrogen oxide. operation of a power plant for more than 5 years. So one of the things that we used to monitor is called the SOx emission. The director of the plant will always ask, the general manager of the plant will always ask, hey, how was the SOx report? Because he needs to report to the head office of NTPC that hey, today this is what our SOx emission was. Because as a company, NTPC was extremely sensitive about the potential harmful impact. Because we are in the business of generating power, and majority of our power plants are coal. So the least we could do is how can we minimize the impact of sulfur and nitrogen? Okay, so that's why it's called SOx emission.